back in January when I started doing a song a day for this year, I came up with my first idea. And I'm trying to figure out how I want to move forward. And so today I started going back and adding some lyrics, trying to turn these ideas into an actual song. And this is what I came up with.
You got it coming cause you just can't stay on the road trying to make you get away. Hoping to God you could rest someday, but that someday may never come anyway. You got it coming, you got it coming. You got it coming and you better not run.
So let's jump in and see how I got to here. Also, I'm going to talk a little bit about songwriting and how you take something to how you develop a song, and at least the path that I use. All right, so when I first started this project, it was in January. I decided that I wanted to write a new song every day for a year, and basically the way I defined a new song was like a beat. Just like a melody, a beat, something that sounds cool, kind of like the seed or start of a song. Because I also wanted to keep the production value at least, I don't want to say high, but at least where it's at a decent level where you could hear it and get like a good idea of the song. So I'm now at 4 months. I've written 126 beats, rhythms, songs, if you want to call them that. And I realized that if I keep doing this at the end of this year, I'm going to have 365 snippets. But I'm not going to have any like full-length songs after a year. And I realized this because I was thinking, when you're working on anything, whatever you practice is what you get better at. And what I mean by that is, after doing this for a long time, I'm getting pretty good at coming up with a quick little snippet. But that doesn't mean that you're good at creating good chorus to go with that, or that you're good at putting vocals to that. That's a different skill set. And I thought, at the end of this, I want to have improved my skills in a more rounded way. I don't want to, I feel pretty confident now that I can come up with some, little tune, ditty, jam that we can work with. And I have some great ones I really like. So I started rethinking like my plan. Am I going back on my own word when I do this? So if I stop now and I start working and doing longer songs, does that mean that like I didn't come through on my promise? And I don't think so. It's more like reevaluating as you get further and adjusting. And so I think the way I'm looking at it is I'm still going to be writing some new stuff if I decide to do that. But oftentimes a chorus is different. Sometimes it isn't. Sometimes it's the same. But it depends on the song itself. What does the song need? And so you got to be true to the song. And so I think that what it works, at least for me, to make sure I come through for myself, is that it's a different version of the song, and I feel like that qualifies as a new song. It has new parts, and really, instead of doing a 30 to 60 second bit from scratch, I can take a 30 to 60 second bit and turn it into 2-3 minutes, 4 minutes, something that would be ready to put vocals to. And then for the last 3 months, I could work on just doing vocals. So that is what my plan is. And then by the end of a year, I would have songs that are a little bit further along in the development process that have some lyrics as well, chorus, and really probably the toughest part is the last part, is coming up with good lyrics, vocal melody, the top line. I would say the vocal melody itself, let me think about that. It's the toughest piece, right up there with the lyrics itself, or the theme. I think once you get the theme about what you're going to be singing about, the chorus, the hook, and by that I mean the words of the hook, Once you get that, you can figure out the verse. And sometimes the verse also needs its own vocal melody or vocal hook. So that's what I think I'm going to do. I think that would make more sense. I think that'd be better. So going to jump in. I just opened up the first song that I did in January, 4 months ago. So this is when I was just jumping in, and I wasn't sure how I was going to do this. This is day one. I'm sitting down thinking, all right, I got it all right in my first song, and I'm going to be doing this every day for the next year. And this is what it sounds like. All right, there we have. That's what I'm working on. So here's kind of the rules. I can do whatever I want with this. If there's a piece that isn't working, I can take it out, I can switch it, I can change it. It's kind of, this is my workspace. And how I feel about it, there's a couple that I wrote that I just did not like. But I had to put it out because that was what I came up with for the day. This one isn't bad. It's certainly not one of my favorites. What am I going to do with it? So when I'm looking at how I'm going to do something with a song, what I've realized, one of the most important things is figuring out what the vibe is of the song. It's kind of like, it's not the words. The words kind of right on top and get informed by the vibe of the song. So like, is this an angry person? Is this a bitter person? Is this person a mess? Is their life just a mess? There's some artists, I hear their songs, and basically they're a tragic mess. Like, that is who they are as human beings, and you hear it in their songs. They're just, and I love some of them, But, so what is the vibe of this song? And I need to start thinking more about like the lyrics itself, like how I handle that. What kind of lyrics would go well with this? I kind of feel like rap could go to anything, so that would almost be a default. And I got to be careful about not slipping into defaults just because I can't come up with something better. But if I'm working on it for a while and I'm not finding it, time marches on, my day's moving on. I'm not here to sit here work on this forever. Part of the point is to capture those little pieces of magic where, you just had the right coffee or the right happened. You heard someone say something and it intersected in this moment and you suddenly have a realization, this would be amazing. And so I'm just upping the chances of that happening by doing this more often. And you're also building a skill set. So that's a lot of talk before I even jump into this. Where are we at time-wise? Wow, that's 8 minutes of talking. So moving this forward, I kind of just have to check in. That's the other thing. That's the other piece of art. The artistic piece, the illogical piece, is the part where you write something and then you check in to see how you feel. And if nothing comes up, like you're not feeling anything in particular, then you just got to start trying something. You got to start pulling some levers, start, get out an instrument, start making some noise, making some sounds. So, gosh, where are we going to go with this? What can we use? I do think that this is cool. What is core to the song too? Like, what's the core pieces making up the song? All right, so like I do think that I used this on another song. I think it went well. Just a distortion guitar playing one note. Harmonic scream synth. Like that could be cool. That could be cool. Do we want to go in a different direction too? Do we want to put do we want to have different chords? That's a good question. Like, what are the chords of this song? And so just that right there, I think that's probably pretty good for lyrics. Just that section. That's another thing. Like, as I go through these, some of these riffs that I'm playing, those might be good melodies for vocals. They may not, but it's like a good place to look if you're looking for somewhere to get a vocal idea. So that feels like that could be like a second verse. Let's just start. Let's start. The strings seem pretty essential. It's interesting, I've got both strings and a bass going on here. Yeah, it's interesting. This does not feel like something you'd put lyrics to. All right, I'm going to start. Where's the guitars? Here we go. Let me record this, pull the screen up for you guys. So, the first idea I had was like some sort of electric guitar. So it sounds like we're in A. Jesus. Seems a little smoother. Yeah. I think that sounds pretty good. We've got some cool stuff there. Shit. This is harder than I thought it would be, which is good that I'm working on this now. Because I feel pretty, starting from a blank slate feels less hard. You jump in, start banging on some notes, toss down a couple chords, and something evolves. This is different. So like I was saying at the beginning, like just because I can start from a blank slate doesn't mean that I'm good at turning that thing into a 2, 3, 4 minute song. So it's good. It seems like it's good that I decided to work on this. Like eventually that's the point, right? And if I, to write a full song, it's just you're working on specific skills to get there. And the good part is, like, for all the songs that I don't come up with decent lyrics for, it can be instrumental stuff that, put out an instrumental album. Yeah, I am stumped. All right, so here's what I came up with. I basically I spent a bunch of time. This is literally the next day. I wanted to get some female vocals in there, just, some oohs and ahs type of stuff in the background. So I basically spent a bunch of time searching some samples, got a bunch of samples that I just put in my library so I can use them for when I'm writing. And I realized, as I was looking for like what to do with the chorus, I realized I kind of had to figure out the lyrics first. So my original plan, I think, has changed, as is the nature of art. The song kind of asks you what it needs next, or tells you, or you got to kind of intuit, figure it out, or figure out your path forward. And so for me, for this song, it was though I had to figure out the vocals. Without knowing the vocals, I didn't know how to move forward. So I came up with something, and that I kind of liked. So like a vocal melody. Once you get the melody, you've got to have some lyrics that work. Lyrics is a total another subject. Won't talk about here, but I'll play for you what I came up with. So this is like literally a couple of hours of work, which is not really sustainable if I'm trying to, pump something out in, 15, 20, 30 minutes each morning. So I've got to kind of rethink that and figure out what I'm going to do. But that's the process. You got to figure out how you're going to do it. But this is what I came up with. So this is that song from January. Is it vocal?
You got it coming. You got it coming and you better not run. You got it coming. You got it coming. You got it coming and you better not run.
All right. So that gives me an idea, like a really good starting point to jump off of. So anyway, I'm still figuring out how I want to do this. One thing I was thinking of is maybe instead of doing one section where I do, or a whole morning where I do, where I do like a riff and then I come up with a chorus and do the whole song structure and then add the vocals. I think, maybe doing another couple months of riffs might be a good idea, and trying to like lean more into the experimental stuff. And then that'll be 6 months of song ideas. So what is that? 365. So 180. Is my math off? Probably. But it'll be, how much will it be? It'll be 120 plus 60. Yeah, so like 180. Anyway, that's a lot of material you have to work with to come up. And then I can spend the next 6 months just working on taking the song to whatever level I can. And then by the new year, 2024, I can just pick the ones that stood out the most. I don't know. Might change. That's where we are now.